One important thing in aligning yourself multidimensionally so you can manifest is getting out of the way and letting God do all the work, because really and truly it's not you that's doing the work, it's God. Obviously there's physical action being taken by you, but behind the scenes, all the substance being pulled together to reflect what you're radiating from within, that's all God's doing. That's all God's concern, not your concern. You need to stop worrying about how it's going to happen. Just keep on doing the right thing and trust that you are doing the right thing. Trust that your intuition is guiding you to the correct path, even though right now it may seem as if nothing's happening, but that's just a trick being played by your old self to keep you in a constant loop of cycle of self-doubt, by kind of reminding you or trying to project onto you that the 3D, because we've been thinking like this by habit, by the way, that the 3D is real and that nothing else exists physically other than what we see currently, which is false. You don't want to be trapped in an illusion, because an illusion is a trap, essentially. You need to continually remind yourself of your infinite nature, the infinite nature within you. And that infinite nature within you will work to make whatever you're holding energetically and in your mind a reality. And if you don't know already, that the reason the 3D is an illusion is because of the simple fact that the physical realm of what we call reality, the 3D realm, is all made of atoms, particles, whatever. And those particles and atoms vibrate. Everything vibrates. Nothing is resting. Even you vibrate, and you're emitting vibrations. And that vibration you're emitting affects the particles around you physically and causes those particles to also absorb the energy somewhat. So that energy, that vibration that that energy you're vibrating on makes up your frequency. Is what it is, your frequency. That's how your frequency becomes projected, in a sense, or at least that's how I like to conceptualize it. It's like a amalgamation of all the energies you're holding within, and that is reflective of your vibration. And the vibration is determined by whatever your attention is fixed on, because where your attention is fixed on is where your energy is flowing into. Your attention is the fuel, is the energy that fuels your frequency. And your frequency that you're holding within will be solidified without you, without us in physically, with the particles outside of you. So once you see it now, whatever you see right now is as a result of whatever frequency you're currently holding, or your past frequency that you used to be in, that maybe you're trying to enter a new frequency which you'd prefer. And that's why sometimes it can seem like reality comes crashing down on you, like things start to go wrong. But that's because your old frequency it's purposely trying to pull the rug from underneath you, to make you feel as if whatever you are holding within yourself is not going to manifest. That's just your old frequency trying to get your attention. And remember, where your attention is going is where your energy is going to flow into. So you're moving your attention away from the old frequency onto a new frequency. Only you have that frequency, you know what I mean? It's not something you can give to anyone else. It's your frequency. People will tell you you're delusional sometimes when you're trying to be overly optimistic. Let me say, your emotional attitude towards life, that is what contributes to your frequency. Not just that, but also your beliefs, your identity, your emotionally charged thoughts. I already said your moods and attitude and your expectations. Those things make up your frequencies. Whatever your attitudes are towards life, even if they may seem delusional to others, let it seem delusional to them, because whatever frequency they're stuck in, it's keeping them realistic and realistic means limited. You've got to be unrealistic at this point. You've got to be unrealistic and realize that God is unrealistic. God is the one that can make the impossible possible. All the people that were delusional about what they wanted ended up getting to where they wanted to get to. And the ones who didn't, they couldn't hold the energetic signature, that energetic vibrational signature long enough for it to materialize. So you've got to be persevere. You've got to persevere. You've got to be persistent. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. You've got to be persistent in holding that energetic vibrational signature. Because the moment you waver, that moment where you could have been at the right place, right time, and been the right person in the right place on the right time. Do you know what I mean? It's not just enough to be in the right place at the right time. It's being the right person. And being the right person is being aligned vibrationally, in turn also making you aligned in your frequency. So it's not just enough to be the right person, right place at the right time. You have to be the right person vibrationally. What you have to do is hold that vibrational energy right, and you will start to attract towards you. You become a magnet of your desires. You start attracting the right people, the right circumstances, your intuition just leads you right. You're compelled to do the right things. Or, well, to be honest, no matter what you do, as long as you're in the right, as long as you're aligned vibrationally, you will end up reaping. Whatever you end up reaping will be a reflection of whatever you're holding inside. If you're holding within you luck, abundance, confidence, it's going to reflect outwardly that, everything will just, God will start to order everything correctly. You know what I mean? In relation to who you are. God will order everything in relation to who you are. So I wouldn't even worry too much about the physical action. Just trust that whatever you're being compelled to do, as long as you're vibrationally right, aligned, that it will be the right action and it will produce the correct results, even if it seems like it is not the correct results. The physical reality, your physical reality you can see with your physical eyes is a trick. We literally only see 0.0035 to 1% of what reality is, because that's the amount of light that refracts into our eyes through visible light. 0.0035%. Search it up on the internet. And the rest of that percentage, the 99% of what is real, is what's being processed within our minds. And that's what we call mindset. You've got to start seeing with mindset and not eyesight. Trust what's in your head, not what is physical. But yeah, all you have to do is worry about if you're vibrationally aligned. Don't worry about how things will kind of come together. That's something for the God within you that works to reflect that change that's being made within yourself, outside of yourself. That's your God's problem to deal with. It's not your problem to deal with. You're not the one that's manifesting. Never forget, you're not the one that's manifesting. All you have to do is assume a state energetically and vibrationally where you have you literally have emotionally, vibrationally, all the things that correspond with the physical counterpart of whatever you want. God will work to reflect, to make that, to make the emotional equivalent of what you're holding to be reflected outside of you. One way to tell that you are emotionally aligned is when you've come to the point where you're good with the physical counterpart of the physical of what you want, or you're good without it. When you're good with it and when you're good without it. Like Nero knowledge, his definition of manifestation. When you come to a point where you're no longer emotionally dependent on seeing the physical reality change. That basically just entails you aligning yourself spiritually That's you getting out of the way and letting God do what he has to do. You let go and let God. Get your ego out of the way. You're not the one that has to do anything. It's all God's. That's God's task. It's not your task. And once we start to impose our limitations onto whatever we want to move towards, when we start imposing our limitations, things just start to go wrong. You know, once we start trying to think, how's it going to happen? Is it going to happen like this? Is it going to happen like that? Once we start trying to guess, we start limiting God, the God within. We start limiting his options because we start to put like a ceiling on how it's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? But once you tell yourself, it's not for me to know, it's not for me to worry about, that's you kind of putting a stop on your thoughts. That's an occult technique on how to stop your thoughts. So once you stop limiting the how, then you move out of the way for the infinite to define the how, and you're not even gonna know how it's gonna happen, because all great things happen from the unknown. Things just somehow come into order. You just see that, oh, this person called you at this time and told you to go to this place, and then when you did go to that place, I don't want to limit your thing in it, but I'm just saying, like, think about all the greatest things that ever happened to you, big or small great things. Think about how, you know, you bumped into that one person that, you know, maybe you love now, or there's those friends you met in this random place or in school, or this person in your school introduced you to that person that now is your best friend. You know, think about all these great things. They all happen. You couldn't have predicted them. You couldn't have, you know, made yourself to kind of, you couldn't have done it yourself. You know what I mean? It's God within you. It's that God that you're holding within you that is leading you to these things. Train your mind to see all the causes in the effects that have happened in your life and that are happening right now. Good or bad. You know what I mean? That's how you build up self-trust in yourself, that you know that there are forces working to bring about whatever you are holding vibrationally, no matter it be good or bad. You know, whatever you're holding vibrationally still comes into fruition. Every time you argue with a person in your head, you know, the atmosphere when you do see this person physically is tense, you know. Or maybe you do end up arguing at some point or fighting that person at some point. Think about it. All the times you've been overly confident, and then when you now enter a social situation, things just people just start coming to you. Things flow effortlessly, but you discard all these things. You push these things to the back of your head as coincidence, but they're not coincidences. Nothing is a coincidence ever. It's all cause and effect. And the God that works to bring about these effects, it's an impersonal energy. There's no favor of God is no respecter of persons. It's in the Bible. I forgot the Bible verse in it, but I'm gonna have to search it up on the internet. God is no respecter of persons. He's an impersonal energy. Just like gravity. Gravity is an impersonal energy. Oh my days, I don't want to say this. If an evil nigger jumps off of a building right now, he's gonna die the same way an innocent baby, if he was dropped off a building, it would die as well. That's just how it sounds cruel, but that's just how gravity works. It's a powerful force that is working no matter what. It doesn't matter who you are. That power is just always in effect. It's like electricity as well. If electricity is harnessed in the correct way, it will bring about good things, like a light, like this light that I'm using right now for my video. The charger I'm using to charge my phone. But if, you know, you touch an exposed wire or use electricity to literally shock someone and kill them, that's a bad thing, isn't it? That's how God is. God is like electricity. It just is, and it is powerful and fuels things. But it's just about where you're directing that energy. So let go and let God. what really brought about this video was just this one movie I watched called Prisoner. It's very very interesting film. I don't want to spoil it. I just clocked. I don't even want to spoil it, because if I talk about it, just look out for the concept of taking matters into your own hands and things turning out for the worse instead of for the better. And look out for how when a particular person got out of the way, for them, things got better. But for the other person, it's like when you see it, just keep in mind the principle of polarity, duality. That there's two extremes. You have to kind of spot that to see the different paths that these two families, these two families take, and their results in the end. That one family decided to let go and let God, and one family took matters into their own hands. You know, they let their humanity get in the way of what God would have sorted out if they just had a little faith in. And it's very ironic, because one of the families seemed heavily religious, and that should be another take of the fact that, you know, there's no, you know, that's a bit controversial. I don't want to really get into that, to be fair. It's a bit controversial, but yeah, just the fact that, you know, it's not all about your title or your title, as in your religious stance, your dogma. It's not about your dogma that makes you better or worse than anyone, or more lucky or unlucky. We all just are. We're all just human beings on this earth. That our physical reality reacts to who we are energetically, because that's what we are. We're energies or spirits. So whatever energy our spirit is in, that life is going to react to that energy within. It doesn't matter what you're consciously holding as your dogma, what your ego thinks you are, because dogma, really and truly, dogma, culture, like things like your skin color, your hairstyle, your gender, your weight, your height, all these things are in the ego, what the ego thinks it is. And half the time we're running by our ego, we're running by who we think we are in relation to the world. But really and truly, the world is reacting to us, not we reacting to the world, but the world is reacting to us in relation to whatever energy we're holding within us. And once you constantly remind yourself, so keep on top of this information by programming yourself correctly, or program yourself however you want to program yourself in relation to what you want to get. Anyway, like reading the right books, watching the right videos, listen to the right people. Well, let me not say right, but just listen and watch whatever you want to watch, and be intellectually independent on what you extract from that, and move towards what you want. Well, God will push you towards what you want. You just keep on letting your intuition lead you to the right things, lead you to do things. And I don't like I may say right and wrong a lot, but categorizing things is trapping yourself in the illusion of separation, in polarity. But really and truly, although that is the nature of our universe, you have to train yourself to see from God's perspective, see from God's mind, that everything comes in full circle. Everything works out in your favor. Everything at least works out in whatever you are holding within you energetically. No matter if you win the lottery, no matter if you got robbed yesterday, fam, like everything just works out in whatever works out to reflect the energy signature you're holding vibrationally. With that said, keep evolving, stay blessed, like and subscribe as well if you made it this far. If you didn't subscribe, I still appreciate you watching this far, and I hope this made an impact on you. Stay blessed.